Hi, in this demo, we're going to be adding materials to a object, this robot, in order to then be able to apply textures to him in Maya and in Unity. um, I don't remember what engine I'm using. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is he's going to need materials. So I haven't named any of his body parts here, but they're all still separate. All the little balls, all the little things. The UV maps are the default ones, so we should be good there. Any UVs that we need to fix, we can go in and do later, but this one's all about materials across platforms. So I'm going to grab his main body parts here. His head, his torso, his feet, and I'm going to come up here to rendering and apply a Lambert material to it. And you can see it kind of changes the color. I'm going to name this Robo Body. And I change the color just so I know that there's something on it to kind of a red. That's a horrible color. That's better. Okay, big difference there. Now I'm going to grab his linkage pieces here and put a different material on those. Change those to green. Call that Robo arms and legs. And I'm going to grab all the spheres now. I probably just grab them in here. Yeah, it's probably easier here. Skin, put another material on there. Robo spheres. I'm going to misspell it. That's better. And then we're going to do eyes. Rename that to Robo eyes. And one last one. I'm going to keep that same convention throughout, so Robo, and then what it is. All right. And then that can be blue or something. Okay, so there's our robot. He's got materials on him. Now we could go in here and add textures to these materials in Maya, and we've done this before, where we select them. Actually, here, I'm going to save him first. Call him Robo UV materials. Okay. Save that, just so I have a copy of it with all the materials on it before I start messing with it. All right, and then of course I can come in here and select files and then go and find, I don't even know what I have on my desktop. There's a good one. I can apply that one to it. And then you can see that now that texture is applied to the object. And had this been like a good texture that looked like metal or something, it would have looked a lot better on the character. You can also open up the hypershader, and if I click on, let's see, his body, which is now gray, Robospheres, Robobody. Oh, it's complaining that it's missing the textures. It's okay. We can come back to it. That's why I saved. So I can click on the body here, and I can go graph network, and it should pop up here. Oh, maybe because I deleted the texture, it's cranky. All right, well, we'll do the arms here, graph network. Oh, no, wait, I'm just not looking in the right spot. This is all funky. Yep. Okay, robot body, graph network. And then you can see here is all the different stuff. Here's the Lambert. Here's the robot body. There's the color. And here is the UV mapping. And here is the texture. So if we wanted to, we could add textures and things in here. Once again, I don't have anything really open, but let's see. Desktop. I can drag in the UV grid thingy, and you can see it comes up there. And then nodally, instead of it being this texture that we had before, I can delete that. And now I think I can go back in there and change the color to red if I wanted to. Just had to delete, yeah, there we go. Or I can do color out. Yeah. I can do color out to color in. And you can see it now puts that material on there. So that's just another way of adding materials. It's probably far easier to do it in here, but this gets a little confusing. So sometimes like when I get stuck like that, I'll go to the hypershader and do it. Okay, so at any rate, so what we have now is, and I'll pull this up again just because it's easier to show you. What we have now is, these are different sizes. The different parts of the body. I have one material for each part of the body. One, two, three, four, five different materials on this character. And I could put textures, like I said, on there, like I've done here with the edit grid thing. And we could bring in custom stuff. I could switch these to standard surface materials, which is the swanky the swanky materials node that then has a bunch of presets here. So here, for instance, here is car paint metallic, and I can hit replace. And then if I were to call up Arnold and call up a sphere thing and render that out, you would see that it has very nice reflective car paint on the character. So that's one way of doing things, and I can change the color and the materials and stuff. This is procedural material, so I could probably go in and find the green color and change it to red or whatever. But then the other way, but since most of the time we're exporting these and not rendering within Maya, we're doing these in a game sort of scenario. The other way to do this is to do it in Engine. So just don't put any textures in here in Maya, but then export this, export all. That's what's called an FBX. I'll call him Robo. UV materials 1, because I already have another one in there somewhere. Save this on the desktop. And I'm just exporting this as an FBX because that will go into the engine super easy. So if you wanted to say make this a portfolio thing, you could do all this in here and set up lights and render this out so it looked really nice, but that's really kind of difficult to do. Let me show you what it looks like in Engine. Okay, so here we go. I forgot I wanted to do this, so I'm jumping back. I want to select this object and I need to combine it. And anyways, I want to, now that I've joined this all together, of course, need to delete my history and center the pivot and flatten the transforms. And I'm going to name him Robo UV Materials Bot. And then I'm going to, within, and all his materials are still there. They're still separate. It's just his body is one piece. So those 5 separate materials that we put on him will now go with him when I export them. So I'm going to go export all. And navigate to my desktop. I'm going to overwrite this one. And now I'm going to bring this into the engine and I'll show you how to work with materials there. Okay, so here I have where the Unity third person game sandbox open template, and you can see I have my character and I can press the wrong buttons. I can run around. If I skip out of this, we can import our character into this scene. I'm going to be in the character section here, file, import new asset, navigate to the desktop where it lives, and there it is there. And if I open it up, you can see here are the materials that came with it and the mesh. So I'm going to drag this whole package out there so everything goes with it. I'm going to scale it up because you can't see it. Oops. I'm going to universally scale it up. And now if I go in and play it, I go over there and run and look at them. Spin him around so I can see him. And so you can see he came in, well, with the red material. He didn't come out with the car material. I got the gizmo showing it. It's a pain in the butt. Anyways, it's showing me his collision. Is that weird thing there? So what I want to do now is I have some other materials. So if we were to bring in materials from Maya, they most likely would have shown up on him and then the textures for it would be here, and the materials would be here. And if you can see, if I click on the material, I come in here and I'll find them. I click on the material, you can see, yeah, that's not it. You can see the materials here. And then all I need to do is put it on there. I actually have some other materials in here that I downloaded from the Unity store called Use Free Materials. And they're really nice metals and things like that, really fun. So for instance, if I want to switch out that red for a slightly different red, see, I can just do that. And you can see it takes all the material mapping that we had on it in Maya and uses that to then apply these materials to it. And you can just drop other ones on there. If they're too big or they don't fit right, you can change them within these materials. There's all sorts of stuff that you can do to them, tiling and things, to make them fit a little better. Let's find a good one and put it on him. Some of them have transparencies to them. Some of them have light to them. They're kind of all over the place with this. So if I can put this on his arm, and you see that everything that where his arms were is now got that green color on it. And perhaps I want to use this for his elbow joints. And then maybe one of these for his eyes. An illuminated one. And one of these for his mouth. It's just really shiny. Now we can offset the tiling of these here. There's only so much you can do. And keep in mind that we really don't want to muck with the actual materials because they're pretty perfect. So if you want to change the tiling on something or mess with it a little bit, it's best to create a duplicate and then mess with that duplicate. For instance, if we wanted this one here to be a little smaller, I would duplicate this. Just click on this, and then go edit, duplicate. And you can see it's made one called copy. Or one. And now I can take this one and muck with it a bit if I wanted to. Oops, I didn't have something open somewhere. Right now it's opaque, I can make it transparent. There's a few things you can do with it. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to change this to 5, and you can see that now it's a much smaller repeat on that. This one's the original, this is the new one. Drag this one here, and you can see now he's got little squares on him, whereas before he had the big squares on him. You can see straight away this is much nicer textures, and then you're getting all the benefits of the render engine. Here, all the lighting and the shading and stuff. just automatically works in the game engine. And you can set up your own lights, but this is a much better place to proof your work than in Maya, where it's having trouble with deciding which rendering engine to use. All right, so put materials, the moral of this story. Add materials to your object. You can put textures on if you like in Maya. They'll come through when you export them into the game engine, or you can wait till you're into the game engine and put higher quality materials on your object, make it look a little bit better. Up to you. And these, by the way, these textures that I imported, you can apply them to the buildings and the floor and whatever you like. They just drag and drop. Some of them are a lot of fun. Great. All right, that's materials and Maya and Unity.